Hi everyone, welcome back to my crafty desk. My name is Sandra and we are going to play with some journals. This is, I believe, episode 3 for the start to finish journal series. I'm actually working on 3 different journals at the moment, and I don't know why. I just do this to myself all the time. So I am going to, out of these 3 journals, one is definitely going to go into the giveaway. One is definitely going to my daughter, that she requested a journal for a specific reason. So that's going to be going to her. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through, each one is a section of something I'm putting together in a journal. So this isn't your typical start to finish, I guess, journal series, but it's the first one I'm ever doing, so it's going to be a little bit chaotic. Welcome to my brain. So this is one journal. We'll get to that one in a second. And then this is the t-shirt journal, which we'll get to that in a second. And these are some trims and laces that I'm using for the journals, and we'll get to those in just a moment. Let me put those over here. There we go. So this journal right here, what I wanted to do on this one to work with you, so we can watch what I did. Watch what I do. I've already put this together and glued it, and I've already went over that in the first or second video. And so what I wanted to show on this one is, I did talk about how trimming up your edges, and people do it different ways. So I'm going to show you the way I do it, because that's what this whole thing is about, is what my process is. And you know, maybe someone's going to pick up something, a tip or a trick from me, and I know that I'm learning tips and tricks from you in the comments, and I so appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what do? I use my paper cutter, and what I do is I hold it up like this, and I look inside and I think, what do I want to work on? I know it's going to be at least these 3 right here, or this little bundle of papers right here. So I just take my cover off and set it aside. I open up my cutter here so that I have full access. I don't think I'm all the way on the camera, so with the bottom of my thing. Oh yes, let's knock over the water. Give me one moment. I'm just gonna set this someplace where it normally goes, because that's where it won't get spilt. Okay, that is a tip. When you're in a hurry, don't move things to the places they don't normally go. It almost always ends in a catastrophe. So I'm going to just stack these up out of our way. We want full access here, right? So, and I just had those out to use later, and also as a reminder for one of my tips. Now, are we all the way in there? Okay, we're not gonna get the whole thing in there, but that's all right. So what I like to do, let's see, I know I want these to be trimmed down a little bit, and I knew it was on the second dark green one that definitely had to be trimmed down. So I'm gonna open that up, and now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna set that in there and just put my weight on it to keep it open so I know where I'm at. Do my best. And then I like to do these one at a time. So I figured out how I want my paper pack to go, or my signature. So these measure out, let's see, so I always double check, make sure I have a good burnish down, and then the middle, so my signature is a 9 by 6. So I cut my length 8.5. It can go a little bit past that, but I like it to be at the 8.5. And then the papers are normally, what are they, 8.5 by 11. So it's usually 5.5 this way, but by the time 5.5 reaches the middle, they start popping out. So this should be 5.5. Yep, and it is. So I'm going to take it down, but I don't want to wreck that gold edge. So I'm actually going to turn it this way, and I'm going to go as close as I can to that edge, because I don't care if my middle signature part of it is really the shortest one. And that's going to be 5 1/4. It looks like where I'm at, and I am okay with that. So I don't think my cutter's straight. Is anybody's cutter actually straight? I don't know. I'm so rough with everything. All right, let's see. I'm gonna give that a snip off there. And then, yeah, that worked out nice. And now we'll put this back in the middle. And I'm just gonna work my way out. So now you can see that part doesn't pop out anymore. So my next one is my coffee dye. So I just leave that open, and then I can move that to the top if I want. Just do something to remember where I'm at. Okay, same thing. This is the coffee dye with the polka dots. And actually, I think this one was done with the bubble wrap, so which was really fun. So we know 5.5. It should start at 5.5, and maybe it doesn't. Well, that's not even 5.5. Where are you? Where are you, Sandra? Where? Okay, there we go. 5.5. So I'm going to take this down to 5.25. The other one was not 5.25. I think I took it down even further, but that's okay. That's okay. There. Let's just see. We just need to get a smudge off. Now, after I do this, if I need to like ink any edges, I do that, which I'm not going to do right now because I have a few other things I want to go forward on, and I'm not the fastest crafter. Okay, yep, that worked good. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this one as well. So we're going to go, I'm going to go to 5.25 on this one. And then I feel like when I do this, if later on I'm like, oh, I wish that page was just a little bit, you know, wider, I'll just add something to it. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but I definitely like to layer. So I'm going to do this with this one. A lot of times I'll tear these, but I'm going kind of with the style that this journal is kind of taking on, the life that this one's taking on for me. Is I don't know that I want the torn edges on this one. So there's 5.25. 5.25. All right. And then I'm going to do this one also. And also when I burnish it down like that, I feel like it really helps push everything out to where it's definitely going to be. Yes, there we do it. So there we go. I hope you're enjoying the series that I'm doing. I think it's going to definitely be more episodes than I anticipated, but if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. I don't want to rush myself. When I listen back at the videos, I was listening back at the videos the other day while I was doing some stuff, and I thought I was talking so fast and so loud because I was in a hurry that I was stressing myself out a little bit while I was just crafting. And I thought, I actually stopped. I was like, listen, lady, you need to slow down. I cannot keep up with you. I want to be relaxed. So sometimes I like fast-paced stuff because I'm like, it just depends on what the mood I'm in, I guess. I was just really trying to do measurements and thinking, and I was like, I could not handle myself. I was too much for me. All right. Anyways, whatever. There we go. Now let's see how this fares in our booklet. There, see? I mean, these ones are still sticking out. I'm okay with that. Chances are there's going to be some lace or trims or something in here. So now when we put it my gosh, spit it out, lady. When I put it into the cover and I close it, it gives me a little bit more room to play with. So I'm seeing that these are still sticking out just a tiny bit more than I want. So I don't like that. I'm going to take it out and do it again. So this is where we left off with this yellow one, and that one I feel like is in a good spot so far. So we're going to take this out, take this whole thing out, set that aside, put the book weight on it so I don't lose my spot. And then I think this is good. No, I think I'm going to cut that one down too. So we'll do this one first. Whoops. Whoops, whoops. See how my fold isn't straight? But this is going to help me with that because this is going to get me, this is going to just straighten me up right here. There. I mean, which is fine because it's on the other side of the book, but I guess it just depends. Depends on where your neurotic side is. My neurotic side is I want that straight even if I can't see it. And then we'll put that there, and then go like that, and then we're going to take this one down. So maybe I should just start doing that. Maybe I'll just start cutting them down at 5 1/4, save myself some room. And then if I do that, then instead of having all these little skinny strips, which, I mean, I do use them sometimes. Sometimes they go in a pack and they get given away. So, there. I mean, I don't care if the middle sticks out past these, because when you're actually, like when you're opening it, it's kind of cool. I think. I like it. But I don't want them to be in the way of a closure. So, and I think this closure is going to be a tie of some sort. I'm going to try not to get this one bulked up too much. We'll see. I feel like I did pretty good with that sympathy journal, so I have high hopes for myself. I do know that no matter how it turns out, I'm going to be in love with it. And we're going to have to part ways. But I enjoy the process, so that's fine. And I decided, I think in one of the videos I said I didn't want peach, but I do like it. And then I do like it in there, and so it shall stay. Now, let's see where we are. Now these, the top ones can come out, and the middle ones are going to come out. It looks like I just want to cut that one down again. And I think I want that like that. So I'm going to cut this down even more. I'm going to go to 5. I'm going to go to 4 3/4 on this one. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Show ya. And then, which I don't even know why I did that, because that actually doesn't go that way. But now maybe it will. And that was supposed to be the middle. So that's okay. That still looks good. And I can put a trim on it. Okay, and then we just have this one right here, which I always do. See, this is the one I'm having a hard time with. I love it when it's torn. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tear it, messy tear. I'm going to, let's do this so I don't lose that spot. I'm not going to messy tear. I'm going to, I guess it's a little messy tear. So the We Are Memory Keepers rulers, the tear rulers, this is the most non-messy tear. So what I like to do on this is I like to take my paper and just kind of line it up on these as best as I'm able. And then I just use my ruler, and because it's see-through, and I just kind of line it up whatever works for you. I'm going to line it up, my numbers, to the front page, not worrying about that it's not folded evenly. I'm only going to line it up to the front, and I want to come in a tiny bit. So I usually use this middle piece right here for me as a guide, and I'll either put that like where the paper is, or I'll put it on these dots or something that I can actually see. But since my papers aren't folded correctly, I'm going to try to get the edge of it to the top, to the first one. There we go. And then there. So that, see, it still has that torn edge that I like, but it's not so messy. You know what I mean? And I like being able to see that color. There, that's good. Good, good, good. Okay. All right. I think that one's done. So that is how that is the long, that is the long way that I take to get my signature to where I want it. And then it's ready for the next step. So I'm going to put this aside in just a second here. I think what I'm going to do for the front of this, though, I'm not going to use this one. This is the one we made in one of our videos, and I'm actually leaving this in my idea box. But I want to make one similar to this, and I'm going to use the same muted, nope, this has got different scrapping and paper. I have offcuts set aside. So I'm going to use some of that, some of the Bible verse maybe or something. I don't know. Well, anyways, we're going to just make a topper. I just don't want it that big. So, you know, I mean, it can be that big. It's actually very lovely. So I like that lace. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I have some extra of this material that I cut off. So I think I'm going to use this to make a fabric flip in here somewhere. So we're going to leave this with this. We're going to set this inside here for a moment. Well, we can just tuck it right in this pocket so we don't forget. And then the laces over here that I chose for this, and I'm debating whether to do this. Let me get in film, let me get in camera, let me get this paper cutter out of the way. We don't need it. Ooh, Jiminy Christmas. Okay, there we go. Whew. All right. Come on, settle down. Don't need to lose a finger over this. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do, I think I like it. I really like this. I think this is so pretty. So I like this. So I have to think, like, if I want some more lace, and I know I do. Some people are gonna say, it doesn't need any more, but it does. I have to have more. So I like that lace. And so what I do is I like to put that there, and then I would have to finish that off somehow with something, you know, something nice and delicate. But I like that double layer of lace. You don't see it from this side, but you do see it from this side, and I do like it. So let me see this then. If we did that on that side, I mean, can you have too much lace? If you're a lace lover, is there really a such thing as too much lace? So I feel like it would be too much on the front. Yeah, I like it just simpler on the front, and I like the lace in this inside. So I have this wide one. And then I also have this one that I pulled. It's a little bit smaller, and so I thought that might be the. Let me get in camera again here. See that one? I think this will be the one, just because I get that extra double layer, and I feel like I'm still keeping the simplicity and the elegance of what I'm trying to accomplish here in my eye. And I like how that cream picks up right here, and then we can just, I mean, do I have to figure something out up there? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. Oh, right. That's the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Actually, that is what we're having tonight. Chicken. So, and there we go. I'm going to put that with that. And I'm going to set these aside. I'm going to keep this in here. Like I say, it did remind me. And we're going to put this one aside now. I just wanted to show you that. So with this one, let's see. So this one, what I'm doing on this is, let me get this out of my way. Boy, here I am. I'm like, I'm gonna be organized. I always say, when people come down to my craft room, I'm like, I'm gonna let you know right now. If you think it's messy, trust me, it really is. It's an organized mess. I mean, when I'm really crafting, it gets messy, but I call it an organized mess, because I do keep it organized and I know where everything is. It does get messy while I'm making stuff, but when I clean up, it's easy to clean up because I know where everything goes. And I'm the kind of person where I have to see stuff, so I can't shut my stuff up. it has to be out in the wild. So this book right here was the t-shirt one. So struggle, oh my gosh. I feel so crazy. Anyways, I finally got the corners down on getting that done. Oh my gosh, and I have a list here. Who helped me? Who helped me? I wrote it down, and I think I wrote it down on something that's upstairs. Oh my goodness gracious, why? I guess I'm not as organized as I thought, but thank you. Thank you for helping me out with that needle. Like, I was seriously terrified that that thing was just gonna pop off and hit me. And then when you said that, I thought, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Of course, the thread holds the one part of the needle and the sewing machine holds the other part. So, I got this down. I went ahead and I sewed around the edges. I just glued this down, cut it, you know, you see me do that. So I glued that down, and I had sewed around the edges. I tried to get my sides tucked in as much as I can. I learned that the sewing machine isn't particularly fond of this glue. I got that in a couple of spots. And there's a couple of corners because of the way I cut. See, this is what I was afraid of because it's t-shirt material. I wanted to cut the bulk off, but I didn't know like where to cut it to get this folded right here, this tuck, and I didn't want that to be a raw edge, but it turned out okay. So I'm okay with it. I'm gonna put some glue down just to make sure, because I don't want it to go down. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add corners. And so I have these to choose from in a minute. So that'll get corners, and then this is this signature. Now in this signature, we use a lot of the scrapbooking paper pad in here, and I wanted to do, and had a lot of white pages, so I wanted to do some stenciling and figure out how to use the offcuts. One of my goals for myself is I'm trying to choose my papers and then my offcuts and the pieces that I'm tearing off, instead of just like tossing them only in the combined bin of everything. I'm trying to keep them all together, and then I want to make something with them for the project, and then let go, say bye-bye to the rest of it, because I am overwhelmed with my scraps, and I know it's only going to get more overwhelming as my channel grows, because I was overwhelmed before I did a channel. Can you imagine? Like, it's just too much. So anyhow, so I'm thinking I'm going to do the same thing, one of these toppers for the front. I do like this one, but it needs more. It needs something that pops it off the front here, and I like that. So we'll add something to that, but this I think is going to go with this one. And this I just made with scraps that I was just putting stuff together. This was I think that was on the video when we made that. So that's going to go up there. I wanted to use my inks, so I did a stamp off here with my inks. I took that's what I had these out for. Let's see. So I chose my Victorian Velvet Distress, so they're all Distress Oxides. I chose Victorian Velvet, and I chose the Hickory Smoke out of what I had to choose from my Distress Oxides. And I chose, if I had more colors, I would have chosen some different ones. Speckled Egg, Gathered Twigs, and also Antique Linen. I think I also used, I opened up a brand new, let me see, I opened up a brand new vintage photo distress ink, because I thought it's about time. I'm struggling with it, so I have one, just open it. And then I opened up a Distress Oxide and vintage photo. So what I did is I took my little daubers, and I did a heavy stamp, and then I guess I can show you. So I took a heavy stamp. Come on. Okay, I took my little dauber, and I just took a heavy stamp and just really smushed it in there so I can see how, like when I'm inking edges, like I'm pretty much getting heavy-handed. And then I wanted to know what it looks like if I do it lighter, just to kind of give it a, like what's gonna come out as. And I do that because you may do it differently than me, even if we're doing it the same way. It depends on how heavy-handed you are. So I know the way my hand works, if I'm going light, that's as light as I'm gonna get on that. So I also know if I'm going dark, that's how dark I am. And if for whatever reason my hand decides to do what it wants to do, and I know it's gonna be somewhere in between there. So my tip, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have what's called, probably lots of people know about this, I have osteoarthritis. That's why I had to have bone fusions done in my joints there. So I'm also starting to feel it in my fingers, and my hands get angry during the day. So hello arthritis, and getting older, it's so wonderful. So I decided I have these, and I have another case of them. These are not that expensive, and I feel like also for the cost of saving my hands, they're better. So I've been using those big makeup sponges like these, and I use also these handled ones, where are they? They're like, I think you can get them from different ones. I have some that they're this style, and then they're the square or the rectangle, anything that has a handle. So what I'm finding is the handles, my pincher it doesn't work that well. And it does not get my whole hand and wrist and everything is just angry when I'm pinching, holding. So that's why I've been using these daubers, because like I feel like I don't have to pinch as hard, but I end up, you know, squeezing. So these I love. So I'm using my finger and then I'm just like pushing and I'm doing this. So still a lot of repetitive movement, but I found that it's easier. I don't have as much pain at the end of the day. So you may have already known that these are a blessing. I did not, and now I do. And I'm so happy. Thought I would share. So, and then I just keep them right there. Anyways, the sponges, yeah, they do wear out, but so do the makeup sponges, and so do those other little pads, and I can just keep them in my case, right, like this. And for the most part, I can see what the colors are. I can tell what I'm using. So I'm actually having less blending, what do you call it? Contamination. So we will just set that aside for a minute. We don't need that. And, oh, my remote. I had to pause my music. What do you craft to? If I'm crafting by myself, I've been crafting to, I watch videos or YouTube videos, or if I have to really hyper focus, then I listen to music. And the genre that I like to craft to the most is 70s music. I find it very relaxing most of the time. So this is the signature that was chosen, and this is the way it's going to go. And these are the offcuts right here. So what I've done before the video is I've done them, pretty much got everything prepared, and I left one whole page left undone. So I took the offcut of the paper, and then I backed it onto this it's a more thinner cardboard that I have, just to give it, I want some stability. So on all the pages, they're going to basically be the same thing. So now we can make a journal card of, why did I not? I know I had one here. It's going to be bigger than this, or we can do several, but we can just put paper in there. We can put a journal card. So this is going to be the style that this journal will be. So what I've done is on the pages, we have the green. So, and then the next page is going to be the cream and green. So it's going to be like opposite and of the way I chose them. And so I'm going to put my offcut I'm going to mix them on their pages. So on the dark page goes the light, and then the dark, and then some lace. And I'll do it on both sides. So when the journal is closed, you'll see that lace will just blend throughout. And I did a light weight, and it comes out a little bit over the cover, which is nice because my sewing is not great. So if I want to do anything different there, I absolutely can. So yes, I am not a great sewer, and it did not like that glue. So let's take this out of the cover. And we're going to open up our pages. So then we have coffee dye right there. And then we have the green. And then we have coffee dye. We have that beautiful, I was calling it burgundy. I was watching the video, but it's kind of like a reddish, more of a reddish color, I think. Oh, I don't know what to call it. Wine red. And then we have, so I have the pages already stenciled and they're ready. So like this one, I can put this one on. Let's see, if the page was dark, then we go with the light one like this. So we'll take a light one and then we'll take this. And all I'm doing is my glue here, whoops. And I kind of want to get, I don't want to get too in depth in this because I want to actually sew a signature in. And I can't go past that hour because it's not going to load properly. So 3 edges. I want this part to be on the outside, this part to be that way. Because the reason why I have it there is for the structure. And I also need this so I don't put glue everywhere that it's not supposed to be. And I'm just going to go as close to the edge as I can. Whoops. Without going over, of course, and trying to stay right within there. And then I'm just going to press that down. Oops. There we go. And then I'm going to take my glue here for the lace, because the lace, for whatever reason, I can't always get it to stay with the what's this called? The art glitter glue. I can't always get it to stay with that. So I'm just going to use this one. The fabric tack also works good. The fabric tack, though, I can see that glossy look underneath some, and I don't always like it, that really hard look. And also, it's so messy. And like, I can use my finger on this glue, and then I can wipe it on my baby wipe, and it comes off, where the other one is not so easy. But I am appreciative of its service when I need it. And then I'm just gonna lay my lace down, and I'm just trying to line it up. If you can see, I'm just trying to line it up. I have these flowers. I try to pick a lace that I have some, I can have a guide, use it kind of as a guide. And then I'll kind of follow that, I will follow that as much as I can on all the pages. So, but it's okay if it's not perfect. I mean, it's too much pressure for perfect. So since that's the light colored, I need the dark piece. Here's what I did with it. Where? Here you go. Here's one right here. And then I'm just going to take that and put that down. And because it's going on top of the lace, I'm going to go ahead and use this again. And I just want to get the edges made mostly, a little bit in the middle, just so that it's not like, trying to pill up and interfere with other things. So I'm going to go just a little bit over that lace, just to kind of, like blend them all together. And then it comes onto this. And then I like that. Now, if I want to put a word or sentiment or a flower, butterfly, whatever, I've got a nice backdrop already started here with this little layered look. And if I don't want to do anything but put a card on there, I feel like the layers here are just very nice, and I like it. I like it a lot. So now, I said there was a page on here that I left to do with you, and I actually marked it with a paper clip here so we can see it. So I'm going to just take this page off, turn that way, and set that on top of my journal cover so we can see what we're doing here. So I'm gonna open this up. So all I did is I picked a stencil or two that I liked out of my stash. I cut my papers down, so these were already the offcuts. So this was like, I think 1 3/4, and I think this is like 1 inch. And I wanted this to just to barely tap out of that, so I did this at 2 inches, and I just cut them, and they're all 8. These two are 8.5 inches. That's at 6 inches. If that matters to you, I just wanted to let you know. That's what I did. That is what I did. So I took my walnut, actually, my darker one, and I just inked the outside of this, and I just wanted to get the edges. Whoops, I'm not gonna, it's so messy, but I'm gonna ink this off camera really quick so it doesn't fall on here, but this is all I did all the way around. I don't have one of those little daubers opened up for my dark walnut yet, but I've been using it a lot lately, so I think I'm going to do that. So there we go, and then stick that out of the way. And then these ones, looks like I already inked that one, but on this one I used the gathered twigs. I do know that. And then I just, see how easy that is with your finger? I mean, like, there's like no stress on my hand. And this one I did already ink on the edge, but I thought, I just want to show you how I did it. So just like that, easy peasy, just like that. And then those will go together. I'm going to put that over there now. And then I just wanted, so I know this is going to fold, and I want some stenciling on here. So I think what I'm going to do is use for the blue color, I think I'm going to use the Hickory Smoke on this. And I'm just going to go some white. And so I have some of the other color on here, which is fine with me. I like it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to do, I think I'm going to go right in the middle here. I'm going to go off my page a little bit so it looks like it's a part of the paper. And then I'm just going to go kind of light, and then I can go back and I can make some darker spots if I want to. See? Just like that. I'm gonna turn it around. So just go through here quickly, and then I'm just gonna turn this around. Do the same thing over here. And then, you know, the sides are gonna be covered up, so I don't feel like I have to worry about that too much. Maybe come down the seam, the spine, the seam of the spine. Get some of these little squigglies in there. You know, maybe some more floral up here, up in here. Yep, I like that right there. And then maybe take this little flower and put that there and right there and down here. So that's all of that. Okay. So I think that's good enough. And then if I wanted to do any more squiggles, I can just put some of these in there. This one I wreck all the time. Yeah, I don't think I want any more. I'm done. So then I would just take this. I just glued this to this. And I think I had 7 on each side, so I did this 14 times. So I need that, and I'm gonna use my glue stick for this one. I love this glue. I mean, even though it's clear, it's such a nice, thick, and sticky glue that you can see everywhere that you glue. Like, as long... I don't miss spots, which is nice. Some of the glues I've tried before that go on real smooth, the real, I guess, they're probably cheaper. I don't see it because it's not that thick. Then, I'm going to choose which side, because I'm going to butt this up. So I'm going to just go to the tippy tip there, and then I'm going to try to get it all the way down the side here. And I need to do a little this. And then mostly I'm just trying to get these edges down because I don't want them popping up on me, you know. No popping up. Whoops! Look what I did! Okay, well, not to worry. If we don't like it later, we just put a decoration on it. We just put a decoration. That's a secret. I mean, the decoration, that's a secret, so we'll just cover the secret later. That's what I always say. I'll just put my secrets away, or I'll cover my secrets up. I've gotten journals before, and like I was looking at like trying to figure out like how they make this and how they do that, you know, because it's so beautiful. And then sometimes I'll be like, oh, I found their secret. Because we all have secrets. I think. I haven't come across anybody that has it, so forgive me if I put you in that bundle of people and you aren't one. So I'm gonna stick that back in there, and we will get to that. I'll finish that up later. So I showed you everything I'm working on in this one, and then all of these need to go in here. And this little piece needs to go in here, and I'll finish working on that, working with that off camera. Oh, I also thought, I need these laces in here. I was also thinking, these, aren't they beautiful? I bought these a long time ago from somebody on Etsy, and I just like these little laces. I think these will play well, so I need to put those in there. Okay, so onward and upward. This journal is really, oh my gosh, this journal is really coming together so great. What's the funniest thing about this is this was the practice one, to practice something in case I wrecked my material. I thought, I'm gonna grab a material that I don't care if I wreck. This journal is turning out to be my favorite out of the 3 that we're working with. It's just my colors, I think. I love all the colors, the vintage feel. So let's get to what we did. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to sew this in on camera, but if not, I will sew it in on camera. I don't know if I'm gonna have time on this video. So let's see where we left off. I have this all pinned in here so that I don't forget. What did I do with my pin cushion? Ooh. That sounded more violent than it was. Okay. So, let's see. So that, you know, my grandma's material, my pant material, stuff you was talking about. Love it. I just used my scissors, these scissors right here, and when I cut it, I don't know if I did it on the video, but I want to show you because I love this edge that I got. I took it and when I cut it, I just I put it my scissors down, and then I tugged on my paper, my material. I just kind of pulled it. So I'm like cutting down and pulling. Does that make sense? And then I get this really cool torn look on the material. And that's, oh my gosh, I just love this material. If I find more of this at the thrift store or at the at an estate sale, totally grabbing it. Well, if it's the color I know I'll work with. Like my grandma wore a lot of brown, and so I don't think that I would be working with the brown ones. I don't know. You know, you just don't know. So what I've done on this is going to be the middle of my spine. This, you can see the envelope right here that we used, and you can still see it. It's very thin. This fabric is very thin, so there's not a super strong structure here. So I'm going to use this material to help give it a little bit more structure. So, you know, I don't feel like it needs to be like meant to, you know, withstand the test of time, but I feel like it should be good enough to be able to open it up and journal in it and, you know, toss it on your desk and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do with this is I want to go all the way around. So I'll have my seam come on the inside, and it's going to come all the way, oops, there goes a bunch of stuff, around like that, so that when we're done, when we get it folded over, this is going to be a backdrop, but I want it to be even. So you're probably thinking, oh, why are you doing that? But I need something that's different from this so that I can put, good night, what'd I do with it? I just had it. Anybody see what I did with it? It's the charcoal colored, where did I do with it? It should be right here. Is it inside here? Nope. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many times I'm done doing the video and I stand up and it's on my lap. Let me put that away. So I have some sari silk that I pulled out, and here it is. Oh my gosh, guess what? It was stacked. So I'm going to use this charcoal gray as, I think I might put a bow up there though. I have to have a little extra frill. I know Brianne said not to, but, or maybe maybe it'll be at the bottom. So I like, she thinks that she doesn't want anything in, she loves this, how this pocket came out. She's like, don't make anything be in competition with it. But I'm going to just kind of smush this in like this. And I wanted it to have a little bit of a different background and not just that, because see, it just kind of blends right in. But I think this might be a little bit too wide. We'll see. Anyhow, the pocket, I have that pinned down because I do not have it attached at the moment. I'm going to attach it before we sew the signature in. So that's going to get attached like that. And then that's going to get, this is going to get attached, these things. So let me put that all right there, non-stacked. So I ended up sewing this together. And then I sewed down the edge here, and then I also glued right up here. So I have this little tiny pocket. I thought it was going to be wider, but I kind of got a little heavy-handed on the glue. But it still works. And then I have this cute little piece of curtain right there tucked in, and I glued it and sewed it and all that good stuff. So I think what we're going to do is just use this glue right here because I've already got the sewing done. And I know this top layer needs to go down. So we'll get that on there. And there we go. And that's it. That's it. That's all she wrote for that. And then I need to get this piece down also. So with this, I have a little bit of play, so I can make that pillowy in there. That's fine. I don't mind that. My sewing already actually kind of did it. And I just need to decide, where do I want this, and how taut do I want it? So I'm going to just take my glue, and I'm actually going to go like where the sewing is, and I feel like that's just going to help that to stay. And because this part's not the pocket, and I'm just going to go up there a little bit more, and then I think I better go down here, so I'm going to go right there where that little knot is. Choo, 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 choo. Man, all right, there we go. And I'll just come back to that in a minute. Get these threads out of the way. I think that one I'm going to go ahead and cut, as well as that one right now. And those can just go up in the glue. There we go. And I kind of want to follow, if you can see my stitched line, since I'm already on top of it, with this side, I'm going to go ahead and just try to follow that. And you know, I think I'm just doing it because that's what's come into my mind to do. And I don't want this pocket really tight, so I'm going to do like that, I think. Yeah, kind of pull that in a little bit, and that'll hold that down. And I can come back and trim this later if I desire, which I think I will desire. Okay, there, and now I know where I want to do this. And you may have a different way that you like to put things down, but this is how I'm doing it. This is what I like. I like it to be difficult. There. Actually, it's just I'm not really positive what I'm doing, and I'm not positive how I want things to come together. So I just kind of do it in sections. Sometimes I do sections before other sections should be done, and it makes it a little bit difficult, but that's okay. It's how you learn. It's how you learn. You learn what you like, you learn what works for you. So now we have that done. Isn't that so cute? And then we can just put like a, let me see if I can find a tag that'll fit in there. Oh, Jiminy. Why? So here, let's just try this. These are some tags that I bought from somebody off of Etsy. They're so cute. See? And you can put like little tags in there. Isn't that so cute? Okay. So that part's done. Now we need to do the seam, this thing right here. So I'm wondering, I think it was kind of wide. I don't think I need it that wide, do I? Maybe, maybe. Let's see how big these are. I think I want these on top. So that's going to be on the inside. I think I'm just going to cut this down just a little bit more. What size did they use on this? Is this the one? Yep. Okay. So let's just hope for the best. Since the back side's not going to have the extra fabric on there, I feel like if I do a little crooked, that I can make it straighter on that end, and then since the front side's going to have that layered look on there, it doesn't really matter like too terribly much. And the inside seam I don't think is going to matter because it's going to be covered up with the golden grandma fabric. I love it. It just makes me think of my grandma. Makes me think of her. She used to take me to bingo with her when I was little, and I loved it. The rule was I could go to bingo with her, but if I won, she got half. So, which was fair. She paid my way. So, yep, I like that. And then if I think, let's go back here and just see where it lands. I think that's better. Yeah, I like that better. So, I am going to just glue this down. This is probably where I could probably use that paintbrush or something to smear it around with. Let me get it a little bit damp first. It always works better when it's a damp brush, just like with the chalk paint, right? Damp. Damp is better. And then just kind of do this. Whoa, not that. Okay, I'm gonna get messy. Here we go. It's gonna get wild. My hands are just not gonna work the way I want them to, so I just go with it. And I'm gonna just take this. I'm gonna start this one right here. I want it to be in the middle as much as possible, so I'm gonna fold it now to see. Yep, I feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty darn good about that. Now, let's go over to this side, and maybe what I'll do is this to make it a little bit easier, because I can always go back now that I have my placement, and I can go back and tuck the edges down if I need to. And then, oh, I don't know if I want to go too much on the spine. I still gotta sew that baby in. My sewing machine didn't like it. I don't know if my hand, my needle is all gonna like it. So, let's see. Let's stick that down there for a second. Now, what's easier? Is it easier to fold it in half and then get the seam to go kind of straight? And I want it to be straight on the back end. That's the one I care about the most, because the front's going to be covered with it. The front's going to be covered somewhat. There, what do you think? Is that straight enough? Oh my goodness, I think so. I think so. Now, we'll just pull this around, and so I think it's a little off from here, unless that one's is. Yep, and there we go. Easy peasy, easy peasy. I keep saying that. I don't know why. I must be thinking of my nephew. He says it all the time. And after I visit with him, I say it all the time because it's like stuck in my head. He's such a sweetheart. That's my nephew, Colton. My little honey. He's not so little anymore. He's very tall. He's older. He's in his 30s now. Married with a baby. Sweet little baby. I'm so blessed with so many grandkids and little baby nieces and nephews, and some great nieces and nephews. And I actually have great grandkids too. My gifted grandchildren are, I have a couple of gifted to me grandchildren, and they have children now, and it's so cool. And their babies are so adorable. It's, you know, I didn't expect this. So, you know, it's, when I became a grandmother, I was like so excited, and I thought, oh my gosh, this feeling, like you cannot explain that feeling to people. Like it's just an unreal sense of love that's just overwhelming. Like there's, for me anyways, like there's just not the words. The closest I could ever come to it, describing it, was if you ever had children, that feeling of being so madly in love, or your brand new baby puppy, you know, it's that wonderful in love, madly in love. You just can't explain that feeling, but without the exhaustion. So, because as a new parent, you know, you're exhausted, but that's the only way I could explain it. Can't remember why I was saying that story now. Oh, I know, because now being a great grandma, so that was being a grandma, so now being the great grandma, I just love to watch my children now. I watch them be parents, but now watching them be the grandparents is like, oh my gosh, like heart bump, big time. Gosh. Oh. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I can't be alone in this. So then this would just go on here and get like the little smushy smush. But I'm gonna wait to do this until we sew in the signature, because that could get a little messy. This part does need to be done before the signature goes in, and isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know rule of thumb is smaller top, bottom is wider, but since this is gonna be covered by a pocket, I feel like I want the wider up here. And gosh, I'm picky. Pick. Okay, I need to not worry about the threads. I can get those off later. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave them all the way to the bottom because you're gonna be able to see it through the pocket. Isn't that so cute? And the pocket will just get glued on the edges, and then I'll put some glue down here at the very bottom, and then I'll let it peekaboo down here. And then these will be the pockets. Sweet, I love it. Okay, I think, yeah, I'm gonna use this. So the other thing I like about this, other than the Magna Tack or the Fix, is that it doesn't bleed. Gosh, is it gonna make a liar out of me? It doesn't bleed through, you know? You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Okay, gonna just do a squeeze. I gotta stay on camera. Sorry, gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay. I feel like this is a water base. I think I might try, and I don't know how old this is, so I might just try and water some of it down in a little thing, kind of like Mod Podge, but not that watery, and then see if that will help me do my thing here. So let's just, okay, and we have this, and this. There we go. Oh my gosh, I think we're almost at an hour. So definitely not sewing the signature on this video, but we will do it on a video. I know for me, that was always like a super big important part. I wanted to see different people's processes, but in the beginning, if there's any beginners here, which it sounds like there are a few people I've talked to, it is fun to watch that. And it's fun to watch at least for me, it's fun to watch different people's processes on them, because not everybody's the same, you know? And also what I'm learning is you may see something that I'm doing and have a tip for me that makes my life just a little bit easier. So there we go. I'm gonna just get that in there, get this one down, and I can always come back and tap. Well, I'm not glue sticking that. Goodness. I can always come back later and tack those down more if I need to. So maybe if I do it this way instead. Yeah, and then I just didn't know how much I'm gonna have here on material wise. Now, which way did you go? This way? This way. I don't think it matters. You know what? I just need to go on before my glue dries. There. And I'm trying to be like perfectly imperfect with where I'm placing it. So I just want this to be perfectly imperfect. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So this I'm going to definitely bring out to the edge a little bit more right now because I don't want this fabric to fray out while I'm working with it. There. And also the other one that we were going to put the corners on, we didn't pick corners, did we? That's okay, we'll do that one on video too. I'll put the corners on the video. So maybe we'll do like the mechanics of the 3 journals on one. I won't sew them all in on one because that's kind of redundant, but oh my goodness. Now this does have to go on before I sew this signature, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick like. Got to decide where we want the ruffle to come down at, like I think right there, and I got all these threads going everywhere. I should probably just cut them off, but I haven't decided if I want to keep them or not. So yep, okay, that's a good way to go. I think I'll take I'll use the little on the, I'll use this as my guide. Oh my gosh, glue's on my finger. Oh, there's just like, they're gonna be everywhere. So I'm gonna use this little flower as the guide, the little bottom dot. And I think I'm gonna bring that to the tippy tip of the bottom, tippy tip of the bottom. So, and I know I want it to come out at least a little bit over. I'd rather cut the ends off. So I'm going to do a glue dot, whoops, on both sides of that little, and then across the thing. And then just like that. I don't know if I'm on camera right now, but you'll see me as I come over. So on the side of that dot, all the way over, to the next dot and then all the way over. So I'm staying in between those last lower dot holes, whatever you want to call them, into the flower, the little opening. And that's where I want my glue. And I can always go back in and add more glue here and there if I need it to get my pocket sealed. But that's my line that I want to stick to on the bottom, and then I'll come back and do the top in a moment. So, and now I'm gonna lay it down where I want. I kind of have those where I laid them out down. Now get on there where I want you. There. And I just want them right on the very end of that. See, that's on my paper. Good thing I have that down there. And that can come down there. There. And then last time I did something like this, I actually glued my one pocket up. I glued it up a little bit, and that glue stuck. So I'm going to pull that down just to see where I'm at. Make sure I'm fully attached. And then as you can see on the bottom, I need to come down just a little bit more here. So, there. I can live with that. I think I like it. Okay, now when that's folded in half, we have that, and it's perfectly imperfect. So I think we're at oh my gosh, we went over an hour. So I think we're gonna stop there, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for joining. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. I really appreciate it. We are at 400 subscribers last I checked, and over 1,000 watch hours. So I'm so excited that this is growing, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.